According to statistics by the Nigerian Navy released in September 2019, Nigeria has lost 163.17 billion naira in oil revenue to the activities of pipeline vandals in Niger Delta region between 2012 to 2017. Just to refresh your memory, pipeline vandalism refers to the willful or deliberate act of damaging petroleum pipelines with the sole aim of stealing crude oil and associated petroleum products. As a result of these vices carried out by vandals, there have been huge economic losses from pipeline and plant shutdown, vandalism, fire outbreaks, usually resulting to loss of lives, scarcity and shortage of petroleum products, and even decrease in electrical supply. All these are attributed to pipeline vandalism. In Nigeria, petroleum products are transported across different locations through extensive network of pipelines that runs across both remote and populated areas. The challenge, unfortunately, is that these pipelines are, however, poorly secured, thereby making them targets of repetitive attacks by vandals. Various steps have been taken by government for service delivery and protection of pipelines in the country, but the problem persists. Little wonder why the Pipeline Professionals Association of Nigeria has converged on Abuja to host yet another edition of NIPITECS on the 4th and 5th of September to dialogue and exchange ideas, technological solutions to fight the menace of pipeline vandalism across the country. Stakeholders in the pipeline sector, indigenous companies promoting the local content mantra in the oil and gas sector were on ground to re-echo the importance of the pipelines to Nigeria's economy and to showcase to the world that services delivered by international oil companies can be handled well by indigenous companies in Nigeria. On Duty TV caught up with one of the prominent indigenous companies, Enikkom Construction Limited, that uses the latest technology in pipeline infrastructure in order to overpower and reduce pipeline vandalism cases to the barest minimum. It will interest you to know that Enikkom Construction Limited have worked on several pipeline infrastructures across the country. Enikkom Construction Limited worked on the Arepo pipeline infrastructure bedeviled by pipeline vandalism over the years in Nigeria with the latest technology solution in pipeline construction. Enikkom is regarded as the foremost indigenous trenchless engineering and construction company in Nigeria. Do you want to know more? Join us in this chat.
Thank you very much. You're welcome. I am Chibike Nwachukwu. I'm a director at Enikkom Construction Limited. We're here to sell the product that we have in the oil and gas sector for the entire nation. You know, our company has been into this in the past 19 years. We've been doing deploying the trenchless technology in the oil and gas sector for the Nigeria on the whole, the NNPC and other oil and gas subsector here. So that's what we've been doing. Enikkom Construction has recorded a high level of protection over vandalism in the oil and gas sector. As an indigenous foremost company in this business, Enikkom Construction Limited has achieved a lot of crossings. One of the longest crossings in Africa was done by Enikkom. For instance, the 3-kilometer Arepo line, that's the Mosimi Atlas Cove line. Enikkom deploy the HDD services on that line to protect the pipelines from vandalizers. You can remember that line, NNPC couldn't pour products on that line for a long time until we were able to replace the pipes at that section of the swamp.
Was it difficult? How long did it take you? Can you tell us what you went through?
Yeah, it was tasking, but we're equal to the task and we're able to deliver it. Yeah, and I'm sure that the PPMC people as at then will testify that this work was done by Enikkom, an indigenous company for that matter. So we've done several of those crossings. The other section of it, the Ijo-Dodo axis, we're able to replace the sections too using HDD technology. So that's what we've done so far. Then, being an indigenous company with this in this area, we're the foremost or the best in the country. Enikkom has been there delivering services, even when we didn't have it directly from the source. We had done subcontracts for several other companies who couldn't deliver, and then we've done a whole lot.
How old is Enikkom Construction Limited?
Enikkom Construction Limited is over 19 years old in this sector, pioneering the HDD technology in Nigeria. So there's no way in Nigeria in the oil and gas sector you mention HDD without taking recourse to Enikkom, because in one way or the other they would have deployed the expertise, both local and international expertise. The NIPITECS conference is an only one solution point for the NNPC against the vandalism that's been going on the several lines. You had the GMD of NNPC today, Engineer Kari, talk about thousands of kilometers of pipelines that they have in NNPC distributed. In fact, pipelines being the best means of transport, movement of products and crude from one point to another, because it's the cheapest, it's cheaper, it's affordable, it's cost-effective over transportation by road or by any other means. So the best way to move products and your services is using the pipelines. So the NIPITECS conference has a lot to offer, because we're now exchanging ideas with several other pipeline partners aside what we deploy here. It's not only one thing, it's not just one. You have to have partner with some people. So at the exhibition that we're having now, in the conference, a lot of people have come, we've met people, we've exchanged ideas, all people looking for those who, most people don't even believe that an indigenous company can do all this. When they go through our profile, see what we've done, they were amazed. So Enikkom is at the forefront piloting this technology in Nigeria, and then it's the NIPITECS conference is one I can commend, because those who have put it together has really done well. Even the GMD of NNPC testified to it, and that he's happy with the NIPITECS conference, because it brings a lot of all the pipelines dealers together, and then everybody exchanges ideas and the difficulties and hard times, why it's difficult for somebody and all that. So that's why it's a good conference. So what we're saying is that there's no way you talk about trenchless technology in Nigeria without talking about Enikkom. They're the best. NNPC knows, everybody knows. We've done for Dangote, we've done for in the new refinery Dangote is doing. We've done subsea piping for them. We've done we did the crossing for the Shell project for Saipem. It's called the Tomorrow project. We did the HDD line for them somewhere in Delta State. So we've been there everywhere, we've been around. We did even when the NIPP gas projects were going on, Enikkom has been there, delivering services, delivering the technology, where they wouldn't want Vandals to obstruct the flow of products and gases on the line. So we've been there, and then we hope that we'll continue to do well. In fact, that today, we could say we've achieved what no other company, indigenous company, has achieved here so far. So that's we do. Enikkom do other things too. We do the dredging services. We have our dredgers because it's an all-in-one company. Because you look at when you have a line where you need to work, you need to dredge some sections to put in your rigs and all that. So we have all this in encompassing together, put together. We have dredgers, we have all our equipment that makes our work so easy for us to do. So we are high flyers in this technology, and I hope that the Nigerian people, the oil and gas sector, Nigeria beyond, will recognize and then test our services, and then we'll see what we can do. Using the American oil gas rig that we used to do our crossings. So this is there about, but we have a lot of pictures, some Facebook pictures that I could give to you that will explain the work we've done so far. But these are just pictures around where distribution is going on and all that. Okay, for example, here, okay, you can come over here. Now I told you at some point we use our dredgers to dredge up some areas. These are typical Enikkom Displace sites. You can see it here. These pipes being passed over there. These are workers on the drill rig, and then this is a dredger. Because we'll do dredging too. But before, probably when we have obstacles on our sites, we'll use the dredger to clear off a right of way. So these are pictures. These are rig types too. So that's exactly what it is.